I said earlier, maybe we lie. Maybe language is to allow us to lie, but language betrays communication. Well, then we have to find our way into either silence or gesture or dance or song, some way of unbridling the horse we ride so that it can take us where it wants to go, which is back into this place where ego isn't grabbing. Because you see, it must be so that if the magic retreats from each one of us in the wilderness, how much more then it must retreat from us as a community, en masse, as a planetary species. So we live in a domain of triviality that we have created. We have trivialized the world. The elves, the fairies, the water sprites, the energies that flow in the earth with the seasons, the movement of the stars, the machinery of being, the drama of life and death. We push all this away and we hold ourselves above it. Death is sanitized, birth is sanitized, everything is made less authentic, as though we are somehow threatened by the authenticity of being. Why are we threatened by the authenticity of being? Why does it take such tremendously powerful hallucinogenic agents to put us where we should be operating in terms of our pattern of caring for the world and for each other? And this is a real question, I think. It goes hand in hand with the question that I think is very worthwhile for the group to try and deal with, which is, if psychedelics are so wonderful, are we better people? And if they are wonderful and we're not better people, then why not? What precisely is our relationship to people who know nothing of this? Is this a way? Is it the way? Is it no way at all? How does the mystical vision feed back into how we are with and for each other? Are we doing enough with that? Are we, do we exemplify enough what we know and what we feel? And if we don't, how can we? Because this is our faith, I believe, that we have something precious that we want to give to those who are operating without awareness of it. But before you give something away, you have to wonder after the consequences. I don't have answers to this, and this is the question that should hover over our lives. Do we embody the radiant correctness of what we say we are pursuing? I certainly feel that I am a flawed and fragile vessel for this. My strength is my ordinariness. It must be. It's the only suit I can play. So that must have been the idea, that it would be Joe anybody. But how can we make it live for ourselves? And this is a problem with the evolution of language, the evolution of communication, of caring, of intent, and then of implementing the vision. I don't know, maybe I'm impatient, maybe it's happening, and maybe the awareness of the changing earth, the awareness of the needs of the earth, the awareness of the needs of women, the awareness of social injustice generally, is all part of this thing. I had a very satisfying experience recently. A publisher and editor, came to see Kat and I from Australia, and we talked about all this stuff, and he was a fellow psychedelico, And he said, nobody had ever said this to me before. He said, from where I'm sitting, I think that you're winning. And by your winning, what he meant was that inch by inch by inch, the dream is actually gaining ground. There will be a second hearing. There will be an appeal from the absolute judgments of 20 years ago. Well, then in that case, it devolves upon all of us to embody this thing and to not cut corners and to as it says in the Grateful Dead song, try just a little bit harder, just a little bit more. And I think doing that, and a lot of it is a letting go. It's not a pushing into, it's a letting go. Then the magic draws close. I mean, nature loves courage. You've heard me say this. The way nature shows her love of courage is by removing obstacles. That's how the shaman can dance in the waterfall. He can't dance in the waterfall, except that he's so damn courageous that God suspends the laws of physics in the face of such faith. You know, it's something like that. It's the courage to be. The courage to be. To be is to dance in the waterfall. And I'm really not, if it sounds like I'm berating you, I'm not. I'm speaking, you're serving as a screen for my own psychotherapeutic process, because I clutch at many levels. But fortunately, and thank God, there were enough instances of recklessness and sheer error and pure madness and peer pressure and all of these things that I got a taste. And I think you all have a taste. That's what unites us in trying to run this thing to ground. And it's the heart of it that is so hard to talk about. I mean, I skim the ideas off the depth of a sea of heart whose boundaries cannot be taken, because that's my style. But the unsaid part, the dizziness of the things unsaid. Remember the poem by Trumbull Stickney? I lean over your meaning's edge, and I feel the dizziness of the things you have not said. And the dizziness of the things unsaid, for us fans of dizziness, is ecstasy, the vertigo. Weren't we first spun in the schoolyard? Wasn't that your first altered state of consciousness? To be spun and spun until you fall down and watch the world move around? It's the dizziness of the things unsaid. That's a real problem for me. I'm a sayer. But it's worth invoking it, if only to let it resonate in the silence. Well, there are different things here. There's a lot of good in psychedelics that is not what I've been talking about today. A lot of people are hurting. A lot of people have traumatic past histories. A lot of people need to be, unplugged, cleaned out, straightened out. I see the psychedelic experience as a birthright, and we can't have a free society until people are free to explore their own minds. It's so obvious. So, I'm as against restricting access to drugs as I am to burning books. It offends me in the same way. People must be free. We are the measure of the political universe, not the state, not the race. These have all been tried with horrible results. Individual human beings must be free. Anything which ameliorates that has to be looked at very, very carefully. Sexuality and the restriction of information access and understanding that revolved around that issue for the past 500 years just shows me that we don't want to go into that with the mind. Because anything can be taboo. Your genitals don't have to be taboo. Your mind could be taboo. Anything could be taboo. But the presence of the taboo is so destructive and alienating, and so makes community so impossible that we have to take individual men and women and we have to make them free. That is the system where freedom has to be maximized. I don't say that we have to convert these people to the existence of magic. In fact, we don't have to convert them to anything. The nature of the beast, meaning the nature of these hallucinogens, will set the agenda once we are free to inquire. That's all. Freedom of inquiry.